Until then, we're going to go ahead and move on to, I feel like the dead horse that we keep beating, but it's a topic of
Ah,
conversation.
not the cowboy.
It's a topic of conversation that we
Ah.
can't escape. Every week. I know. I'm sorry, Lachelle. I had to do it to you. I had to do it to you. But this week's kind of interesting. It's about Micah Parsons again. No surprise, no surprise. In the Cowboys' final preseason game, Micah Parsons, who is still waiting on a new deal with the Cowboys, was seen casually napping on the medical table during the second half. He was also the only player not to wear a jersey during the game. As a result, head coach said he will meet with Parsons to discuss his behavior. Lachelle, I want to know, what message does this send to the Cowboys? And at this point, do we feel like he's acting a little childish?
I think he thinks he's doing the right thing. And I think he thinks because he's not completely absent from the team that this is good leadership, even though he's clearly frustrated, even though he clearly can't hide it either. I think the best thing that Micah Parsons could have done is remove himself from the team to make this a real holdout. Like, this hold-in concept is kind of illogical in so many ways. You're around this team, you're trying to feel like you're still there for the guys, but then like these are the conversations we're having because you are clearly upset. That's fine. You have every right to be upset. This is a mess that was really unnecessary. You feel disrespected. Your agent feels disrespected. You're in this media war with your boss, essentially. But it's like, okay, how many times are you going to go sit in the corner? Like, we know you're upset. We know you're mad. At a certain point, it's like, okay, just go home and see how this plays out. See what happens. I commend that he's trying, but it starts to become a little bit annoying when it's like, okay, like you're kind of asleep on this trainer's table. He says that he wasn't asleep. It was just like one little moment that he wouldn't disrespect the game like that. But it's also like we see the video of him walking in the tunnel eating nachos and they're like, hey, the Falcons. And he's like, call them. Like I get it. He's trying to play this game that is a mess. But it's like at this point, you're better off just going home. If you feel like it's not going anywhere, see what happens. If they start losing games without you, that contract is coming with speed. You just got you. To me, he doesn't really have as much leverage until we see if they start losing. But the just being there and kind of the pouting, it was cool the first time. We got it the second time. It's now like, okay, like enough is enough.
So are you suggesting he sits out for the start of the season?
Yes. I mean, after watching The Gambler and His Cowboy, Emmitt Smith did the same thing. He went home to Florida. They lost 2 games. Then Haley almost threw a helmet at Jerry Jones in the locker room. Next day, Emmitt Smith up in there coming to Dallas signing a new contract. Like, and Emmitt Smith specifically says the leverage that I had is that they went 0-2 without me. I was a direct cause of the loss. Micah Parsons might have to do the same. If you really believe in what you're doing, you might got to sit there and say, all right, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, this is a respect thing now. But I think Jerry said, what, we still got him for 2 more years. He doesn't care. That's the problem. You're messing with someone who doesn't care. I would sit there and be like, cool, let's see who care less.
That's when things get so messy. That's just the one overarching question is like, do we really want it to get to that point? Realistically, no, I don't think anybody does, but I don't know. That's just you're playing with fire when you start asking those questions, when you start talking that talk. I
It's
don't
a
know.
fire that you have to choose. Like, okay, if you were his teammate, would you be annoyed if you're seeing all this? He is worth what he's asking for. You don't have a problem with what he's asking for. You get it. I think Dak said that. He was like, I think it's going to get done. I've been in that situation. I trust it. But if you're his teammate, after everything, the sleeping on the table, the nachos, you sad when we coming off the elevator, at some point, you don't think you're going to sit there and be like, hey, it's cool if you just stay home till we figure this out.
Yeah, I mean, because it's distracting at the end of the day. That's it's what it's becoming now because we're talking about it, everybody's talking about it. The
Mm-hmm.
focus isn't on the rest of the team. It's not on anything else with the Cowboys right now. It is about Jerry and Micah and this deal. So I would 100% be that guy if I were on the team. Hey, why don't you just go home? Because yeah, it's getting to the point where it's taking away from the real mission of the season. So I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I did see that Jerry Jones said that about 60 days ago. He offered Parsons more money than any non-quarterback has gotten, which would have made Parsons the highest guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL. Micah said it's not about the money anymore. It's about more than the money. Matter of fact, did you see this? You know what I'm talking
I
about?
I did, and words are interesting.
Okay.
And what makes this argument hard is because I think we all were under the notion that Jerry was lowballing him, that
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't giving him the money he wants. Then you hear Jerry say what he says, and as a human, you're going to say, well, Jerry says a lot. Can I really believe this? But his response to be, it's not about the money. So it's like, oh, wait, so he did offer you that much. That was a real contract. And then it's like, well, it's not about that. Okay. Respectfully, you have that right to feel that way. But again, we were all, I believe, at least me, maybe I'm speaking just for me, chat. We all thought like, oh, he's lowballing him. He's not giving him the money that because that was a big conversation with Dak. He just didn't want to give him the money. Like he was asking for a lot and he just was like, that's a lot of money. So we're all assuming the same thing. Like, oh, he must be asking for a ton of money. And when we hear Micah say, I'm seeing my peers get paid, I'm seeing this. So we all thought, oh, he's mad about the price. Rightfully so. That's a lot of the talk for a lot of guys is the price or the years of a contract. So to hear Jerry say what it kind of was looking like, it's like, oh, well, you were trying to pay him. But then for him to say it's not about the money, it's like, okay, so what is it
Well,
about?
what's it about? Exactly. That's the question that I have. It's like, okay, the money is off the table in terms of this conversation, apparently. So, not in the literal sense, but what could it be about at this point? Is your perspective changing? Do you have a new
Mm-hmm.
goal in mind? Is there something that we're not seeing that you've, talked about behind the scenes with your team, your close group, your family, your friends? Like, what are those conversations looking like now? Because we were all, like you said, let's believe one thing, but then we're hearing something different now that's making us ask some questions about what your intentions are. With that being said, do you think this was a dumb move by his team, or do you think it's smart of him to continue pushing if it is about something that's greater than the money?
I think his team underestimated the links that Jerry Jones would go through. And I think that's a fair, maybe, underestimation. Um, I don't know if they thought he would do this because I think it's been known that Jerry Jones really loves Micah Parsons. Like even in the doc, he's like hugging him, saying, "I love you. You couldn't do more. I couldn't ask you for more." And like you could tell, it seems like there was some relationship of at least value of gratitude. So I think maybe they thought, man, he loves him so much. There's no way that this is gonna prolong. But every relationship changes once you start talking about money. You're great until you start talking about money. Now I got to tell you everything that you haven't done. And you got to be okay with that. So I don't want to say that I think his agent, I know David Mulligeta, I mean, he's known for big deals. He did, the Deshaun Watson deal. He's done these huge, want to say what in the last year, $1 billion in deals.
Yeah,
Like,
he's one of the top NFL agents. Yeah.
yeah, like he's a shark. So like I can't be mad at him. He's doing what he's getting paid to do. I'm here to give my guy money and stability. So I need years on a contract and we need the money. But now if you're saying it's not about the money, like you said, it's like, okay, well, what is this about then? Because you're not telling us it's about the years. You're not like, is it just something that you kind of want to prove to Jerry? Like it raises a lot of questions. I don't think either one is the victim. I
Mm.
think it's more of like, well, what is it that you both want? And it's obvious that Jerry's at the point where I don't think he takes this personal. I think he's like, okay, I've been here, done this. I've negotiated money with Emmitt Smith. I've negotiated money with Deontay. I've done this. I know what it looks like. I don't really care. Like, it is what it is. I don't think he has an attachment to this feud. To him, it's like, okay, that happens. I think Micah is like, oh, this feels really personal. And I think Jerry's like, how can you think it's personal? Like, I've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it with people who have actually won me a Super Bowl before.
Mm.
And I
And
think they're both seeing it differently. Because then you have Jerry on Michael Irvin's podcast, and he's like, Mike, just bring him over the house. We'll talk. Us three. This isn't for agents. And Michael Irvin's just like, okay, Jerry. Like, what is this about? Like, I think Jerry's just like, it's no way you're upset like this. I thought we both understood what this is. And Micah's like, absolutely not. I feel away. Like, it's just not working.
No, it's not, unfortunately. Do you think that going back to the question of what is his point now, if it's not about the money, what is it? Do you think that we as fans deserve that explanation, or do you think it's right that he keeps that to himself?
I think some fans are very simple minded. You want to
Mm.
see him out there. If he's out there for week one, all is absolved. I don't know if anyone cares about the details unless we get 5 years down the road. Then he sits down and explains what happens. But I guess if I was in his shoes, if the deal is done and I sign on the dotted line, I'm just continuing to be a distraction if I start to go in the details. Because now the season's going. I've signed. I'm putting on this helmet. And it's one of those things, like I say about a lot of stuff. Either you're going to tell me what it all is about now, or you just going to have to leave it on the playground. Because I'm not going to care to hear about it once the season starts. Like you have now. When you
Mm.
did that notes post, I was locked in. You were telling us what happened. It was a deal done at the house that you didn't think was a deal being done. Okay. But if you sign on that dotted line, we're done. No more. No more. You go out there and play. Unless something else happens, then maybe we could talk about it some more. But I think you get fatigue as a fan where it's like either you're going to play or you're not, or he's going to sign, give you the money or he's not. But somebody has to make a decision here. And you
Hmm.
just got to stand by it. And as a fan, we'll choose what we believe is okay to us.
That's fair. Chat, I want y'all to chime in. We haven't heard from y'all tonight. Chat, we need some activity. Let us know what you think about the situation. Let us know what you think about some of the other topics that we've discussed. On that note, we are going to talk about some guys who are getting paid because it was a big day for Terry McLaurin and Trey Hendrickson, excuse me. Just hours after the Commanders and Terry McLaurin ended their summer-long standoff, the Bengals and Trey Hendrickson are now doing the same. Going back to Mr. Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys, all eyes are turning to them. Should these moves give Parsons the hope that holding out will too work for in his favor?
Maybe a little bit, but all the situations are so different. Like Trey Hendrickson, he wanted more years on his deal, and that's a 1 year deal he has. So he still kind of didn't get everything he wanted, but he got the money.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to say what 1 year, 30 million, which is like a 14 million pay raise that he is getting.
Yeah.
So it's like he's giving up something essentially too. Like he doesn't have the stability that he wanted. Now he'll hit free agency after the season. That's a whole nother thing he has to think about now. You know, Terry McLaurin, wide receiver, so important to this up and coming young quarterback who goes and says, we're going to get the deal done. I got to have him here. So the organization obviously is like, we're not going to make our young star upset. He says he needs him. He needs him. Let's give him the money. And Terry got paid. He truly got what he wanted. He won. He won. Like, low key, you might got to slide Jaden a quick little 100,000 or something. Cause like the endorsement kind of sped some things up. Cause he was very much like definitive. He will be here. Now he gets the money that he was wanting when everybody was like, how dare you ask for this? And now he laughing to the bank like, okay, well, it worked. But we also didn't see Terry pouting and eating nachos and sitting on he was there at some camps, you know, he was talking to people. But other than that, that was it. Trey Hendrickson, same thing. He's on the sideline for preseason, but it's not the extra. He's telling the media how he feels. But again, he didn't get the years, but he got the money. At a certain point, it looks like everyone had to take some type of compromise, but you also have to choose what stand you're going to take. And again, if Micah's going to take a stand, you need to take a stand.
That's fair. Very different situations. We have some trade-offs as well. With that being said, and I feel like I know the answer to this question based on the conversations we've already had about Jerry Jones, do we think this puts any pressure? When I say this, the Commanders settling things with Terry and the Bengals settling things with Trey, do we think that puts pressure on Jerry Jones to settle things with Micah? Or do you think that it's just going to be a waiting game?
I just truly think he doesn't care. I sincerely think he doesn't measure what the Cowboys do to anyone else. Because I think in his mind, he's like, well, the Commanders ain't won no Super Bowl recently either. He looking like Bengals ain't been back in a while either. Like I think he's like, I'm measuring this to teams that haven't won recently either. Like it kind of is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if Jerry feels pressure. I think he's more like, well, they caved. Like they gave that money up.
More or less looking at them like they stupid.
It's like, well,
Well,
like, maybe that 1 year deal is where he's like, oh, that was kind of smart. Like, you give
mm,
it up on the front end, and then, but I think Jerry's just like he said, we still got him for this amount of years. He's making it clear the man can't do nothing without me. He can't be traded without me. He can't be paid without me. Whatever he decides is for him to choose. But the cards, he holds them. And that's
mm.
a tough, tough battle to be in with somebody who is making it very clear he will not be bullied. But I do believe he's literally going to get paid in the midnight hour, like 24 hours before the game. And then it's like Jerry's going to be in the box just smiling. And it's like, this was so absurd.